If I mention the names of these cars, the Lexus Sport Cross, the MG ZT Touring and the Audi A4 Avant, just what do you notice? Yep, none of these manufacturers dare to tarnish their offspring with the word estate. Now that makes me believe the car makers don't think an estate can possibly be sexy or stylish. So how do we find out?
This is Hannah Sandling, style guru to the likes of Emma Bunton and Atomic Kitten. If Lexus, Audi and MG expect their cars to be considered cool, then fashionista Hannah has to be convinced. I want to see how practical these cars are too, so I'm introducing them to Hannah and her paraphernalia, starting with the Lexus.
For an estate, it's definitely stylish. I mean, it's quite aerodynamic looking, especially the front. I love how the lights sort of bend around here. It's quite really modern. It's quite like sort of, I think glasses always look quite good when they bend around your face. I really like that, and I love the grille. Really,
Bad boy grille.
Really evil sort of, yeah. I love the exhaust pipe, that you got massive
Well, big
exhaust
foot, you like all that?
I love that,
Match
yeah, because I like all that. But I don't like the lights. I think they're a bit noddy looking, and I don't think they go with the really big. I don't think they go with the really big exhaust pipe.
Right, let's have a look how much space we've got in the back of here. Not that big, is it?
No, it's small. I'm quite surprised actually. It's actually really small for an estate car.
The Lexus has the smallest boot here with the seats up, but has a whopping 1,184 litres with them down.
Now, we've got it in. It's a bit messy. We can't use the security blind, but it's in.
The next car in our fashion show is the MG ZT Touring.
It looks quite funky at the front, don't you think?
It does, actually. I'm really surprised. I think it looks great.
Like this?
Yeah, I love it. I love these lights here. They're fantastic. Look, you've got the double sort of grille thing going on down here. It's really bad boy.
Looks proper sporty,
yeah, it's
angry.
really cool. It's really, yeah, it's dirty.
Right, before we get carried away, what about this then, the side?
It looks like an estate. I mean, that looks more like an estate than the Lexus.
Right at the back?
I don't like the back.
You don't?
No, and I know they've even tried to put a little bit of aluminium there, trying to zazz it up a little bit. It doesn't work. To me, it's like an outfit. If you have one little bit wrong, then the whole thing doesn't quite work. And for me, that's how I feel about this car.
Right, let's have a look at the boot inside the MG. It's enormous.
Wish.
Massive though. Nice bit of velour.
Seats up, the MG's boot is bigger than the Lexus, and with them down, it's the most spacious car on test, with a huge 1,222 litres.
So it's all in, and there's loads more room.
Yeah.
And the last car to get measured in the style stakes is the Audi A4 Avant.
It's a nice looking car, don't you think?
It is. Again, it's really aerodynamic. Because it's got the shape, it doesn't feel like it's this huge, great, long estate car. I love the back. It's rounded. The lights are going round again. The twin exhaust pipe, I think it's fab. It just makes it that little bit more rude boy.
Right, let's get this Audi loaded up. Nice little button underneath there.
The Audi has the largest boot here with the seats up, but it's worth pointing out that this is still smaller than the boot on the saloon version of the A4.
Right, bosh. All in. Let's go shopping.
So, Hannah has some strong opinions on our car's looks, but as beauty is only skin deep, she really needs to try them on for size to know which one of these is truly haute couture. First, the Audi.
I love the interior. I think the interior is really cool. It's really slick. It's very grown-up feeling.
It's not a sea of black, it's not ugly black.
Yeah, exactly.
For some reason, these guys can do it in others can't.
I feel very sophisticated in this.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do.
Maybe the Audi's a little bit too grown up. Perhaps Madam would like to slip into the MG instead.
To begin with, I think the interior is horrendous. I style really cool people. I style, a lot of celebrities, and I think they'd be horrified if I turned up in this car. They'd think I've probably turned up in my mum's car.
Well, if that wasn't quite to the lady's taste, I've got a lovely little number in silver for Hannah to try, the Lexus Sport Cross.
It's really sporty. It's really cyber. It's really futuristic. It's a very slick car. Cars say a lot about passion. You don't want to turn up in some old dump truck.
No.
Because then they're just going to think that's what your clothes are going to be like.
Yeah.
If you turn up a lovely, slick, trendy-looking, fab car, that's what they're going to think your work is going to be like.
So, estates can be stylish then?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. I think it's probably the first stylish estate car that I've ever seen.
Now this week's show is all about style. Know what I mean? Now if you want to look good and do it on a budget, then take my advice and invest in one of two stylish coupes. The first of which is this Fiat. The Fiat Coupe was around between 95 and the year 2000, and there's some good deals to be had if you know what to look for. Now, I've chosen this 98R 20-valve model because I reckon they're one of the best buys. They usually go for around 9 grand, but this one's a bit tasty. It's got leather, and it's got air conditioning, and it's down to 10 grand. But you don't need to spend as much money as that because the early 16-valve models are fun to drive and they offer good value for money, starting at around 5 grand. If you want the turbo, and let's face it, most people will do, for an extra grand, you can get the 20 valve that will get you from 0 to 60 in around 6.5 seconds. And you can't argue with that. Woo-hoo-hoo! As standard, you get ABS and remote control central door locking. You also get driver's airbag, passenger airbag, but make sure that the airbag light goes off when you switch on the ignition. The Fiat Coupe is definitely a head turner. It's styled by the same people who design Ferraris, Pininfarina. If you buy one of these, I reckon you'll be a little bit more adventurous than your average BMW man, but don't forget parts are a little bit expensive, and don't forget to get one with a full service history. Now, if the Fiat Coupe's Group 17 insurance rating is a little too high for your taste, then the full Puma has got all the driving style and pleasure at a much lower rating of only insurance Group 12. And after only 4 years in production, the Puma is due for the chop. Now, I'm going to tip these to become a collector's item, so a used one should hold its value. Being afforded, it's reliable and parts are affordable, so your servicing bill should be cheap. The most common car is the high-tech 1.7 litre engine. But if you're after cheaper insurance, you could go for a 1.4 and the later cars at a 1.6. Driver's airbag, ABS and traction control all come as standard. But look out for cars with air conditioning and a CD player. Check the alloys for signs of scuffs and curbing, like on this one. Check the brake pads, and if you drive the Puma like God intended, then these front tyres will take some punishment. Who cares if it's a Ford? It's fun, it's fast, and it's for people who are prepared to sacrifice space for style. But either of these two second-hand coupes will offer bags of excitement without having to lay out bags of cash.
We've seen that estates can be both sporty and stylish, but overall, which one of these three cars would be the most rewarding to live with? The only way to find out is to take them on a long journey, the sort of country drive that thousands of families make every weekend. Only then will we be able to get to know these cars in order to pick a winner.
Audi is the only manufacturer here with any real history of building estate cars. This A4 Avant follows on a long line of estate car success stories. There's something about this car that smacks of dependability. Its Germanic build quality means you can take this car on roads that others would simply shudder at. It's got all the toys to assist you. It's got airbags all over the place, so it's as safe as can be if you're strapping your family in for that weekend jaunt in the country. So, what do you think?
Well, it might be full of toys. It's perfectly nice. It just feels a bit dull.
That is the problem, I think, with this
Well,
car. I'll be honest with you, I'm comfortable, but it's so non-exciting.
It's for people that actually don't enjoy getting from A to B, because it gets you there without you knowing you've got there. The gizmos in here are fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant.
The sat-nav in here is probably one of the best I've ever seen.
How about the ride though, Joe? The Quattro four-wheel drive system on, I mean, these are little twisty country lanes, it's quite slippery underfoot.
You'd only feel the benefit if things go wrong.
Yeah.
You get yourself into a bit of
A tangle, but you know that that's where this car comes into its own and it will just look after you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before this MG ZT Touring, the only MG estate car that I'd ever driven in the past was an old Montego MG estate. Now, how things have changed, or have they? I mean, basically, that car was a simple thing with a big fat engine stuffed under the bonnet. And this is just another simple car with a big engine stuffed under the bonnet. It has nothing. It has no...
You're being fair?
I am being fair, because this car has no driving aid whatsoever. I am the computer to help keep this car firmly parked on the road. What?
Brake, I'm going to get out.
No, don't. The seat for me, is very comfortable. The driving position is nice and relaxed. However, one irritating thing, and it really gets up my goat, is nowhere to rest my slimming clutch foot. That means I have to drive with your foot resting on the clutch, and no doubt after a while, I'm just going to burn it out. Gearbox is good. It's got a very short shift, which I like, which gives it a sporty feel.
Tractor, brake,
Yeah, it
middle
depends.
pedal.
What do you think? I'm blind or something? I'm not keeping the lead, sweetheart. I can see where I'm going.
Well, this is Lexus's first attempt at an estate car, and I have to say, it is not only brilliant to look at, but it's fantastic to drive, and so comfortable. It doesn't even cost you mind to stop for a rest in this car. I just love it. What do you think?
I think it's great. It's fabulous. I love the dashboard, very different.
And it's so easy to drive. When you've got the power button pushed in, which is like the sport button, gives you more acceleration in each gear. Really shifts around.
As for me sitting in the back, I've got loads of leg room in between Penny and Jason's seat. I am sitting on the middle swab here, which is sticking my head in the headlining, which is a little bit uncomfortable, but fair to say, if I was sitting in one of these nice sculpture bucket rear seats, I'd be pretty well snug.
To be honest, mate, I don't think me and Steph have to give a damn now.
No, I'm sure you don't care.
Because we're really
I am so
comfy.
comfy.
I'd have one of these.
I'd have one.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Anyway, I'm quite hungry. Are you hungry?
It's a good job we're just in time for tea and cucumber sandwiches at my new country pile, and a quick chat about which car will be this week's winner. Meanwhile, we've seen how drivable, desirable and practical these cars are, but what about cost of ownership? Well, the Audi A4 Avant comes in at just under 26 grand and costs 67 pence per mile to run. The MG is the cheapest to buy at 21,445 quid and the least to run at 57 pence a mile.
The Lexus is well specced up, but then it ought to be at a wallet-busting £28,450 with 72 pence per mile running costs. Now, which one of these sporty, stylish estates will take this week's Driven crown?
Now this has been pretty interesting because really there's not much wrong with that MG, it just lacks the sophistication of the other two cars.
Now, the Audi is packed with sophistication, but it's missing something else. It just isn't that involving to drive. If they got that right, then this could be the best car in class.
So who'd have thought it? On their first attempt at an estate car, Lexus has got the balance just right. It's a great car to look at, a great car to drive, and it's this week's winner. We'll see you next week.
Next week on Driven, join us for some mudslinging in our four-wheel drive shootout. Can Skoda beat Renault and Land Rover in our caravan towing race? And just what is Jason doing to our Penny?